Your neuropathy doesn't fit the usual story. You are not diabetic, your B12 is fine, you don't drink. And yet your nerves are failing, your hands and feet are numb and burning, and no one can tell you why. Before you accept the label idiopathic, I want you to consider a cause that almost no standard workup looks for: the slow, invisible accumulation of toxic metals in your body. Pain is a signal, and sometimes that signal is pointing at something in your environment that has been quietly poisoning you for years. Through your water, your old home, your workplace, your hobbies, even certain imported products. Today we examine how low-level, bioaccumulated heavy metals like lead, arsenic, and mercury dismantle the nervous system and why they are so easy to miss. The danger of heavy metals is not usually a single dramatic poisoning. It is bioaccumulation. The slow buildup of small exposures over years, faster than your body can clear them. Lead, for example, is stored in your bones for decades and slowly leaches back into your blood. Because the exposure is gradual, there is no obvious moment of poisoning to point to. The nervous system simply degrades quietly, while every standard test comes back clean. Let us examine how these metals destroy nerves. The first mechanism is the disabling of essential enzymes. Many of your body's critical enzymes rely on sulfur-containing chemical groups called sulfhydryl groups to function. Heavy metals like lead, arsenic, and mercury have a powerful chemical attraction to these sulfhydryl groups. They bind to them and jam the machinery. Arsenic, for instance, binds to and disables lipoic acid and the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex, core components of your cell's energy production. When the enzymes that generate cellular energy are poisoned, the high-demand nerve cell is among the first to fail. The second mechanism is oxidative devastation. Heavy metals are potent generators of reactive oxygen species, free radicals that damage cell membranes, proteins, and DNA. To make matters worse, your primary defense against these free radicals is glutathione, which itself relies on sulfhydryl groups. The very metals creating the oxidative damage also bind up and deplete the glutathione you need to neutralize it. The cell is attacked and disarmed at the same time. This is why oxidative stress runs rampant in metal toxicity, accelerating the decay of peripheral nerves. The third mechanism is structural and electrical sabotage. Lead disrupts the myelin sheath, producing segmental demyelination that slows nerve conduction. Mercury, especially in its organic methylmercury form, disrupts the microtubules, the internal transport rails that carry nutrients and signals down the long axon. When those rails are damaged, the far ends of the longest nerves are cut off from their supply lines and begin to die back. Several metals also interfere with calcium signaling, which governs how nerves fire, producing the erratic, misfiring patients feel as burning and electric pain. In the brain, heavy metals are profoundly neurotoxic. Lead and mercury are classically associated with cognitive impairment, memory loss, difficulty concentrating, irritability, mood disturbance, and tremor. The brain fog and personality changes that often accompany heavy metal neuropathy are not coincidental. They are the central nervous system expression of the same poisoning damaging the peripheral nerves. In the peripheral nervous system, metal toxicity typically produces a distal, symmetric, axonal sensory-motor neuropathy. Numbness, burning, and weakness beginning in the feet and hands. Lead has a notable tendency to affect motor nerves. And in classic heavier exposure, it produces the textbook wrist drop from radial nerve damage. Arsenic produces a painful, burning sensory neuropathy that can progress rapidly. The pattern can mimic diabetic or nutritional neuropathy exactly, which is precisely why it goes undiagnosed for so long. Now the contrarian honesty, because this field is full of predators. The wellness industry has built an entire economy around fear of toxins, selling expensive detox kits, foot baths, and unproven chelation to anyone with a symptom. Much of it is worthless, and some of it, particularly aggressive, unsupervised chelation, is genuinely dangerous and has caused deaths. So be skeptical. At the same time, mainstream medicine swings too far the other way, almost never testing for metals, even when the clinical picture is suspicious. The correct path is neither fear-mongering nor denial. It is objective testing, and only when toxicity is confirmed, properly supervised medical treatment. Testing must be done carefully. A blood test captures recent exposure to metals like lead and arsenic. For cumulative body burden, your physician may consider specific validated tests, but be cautious of provoked urine challenge tests marketed online. The most important step is a thorough history. Your occupation, your hobbies, the age of your home and its pipes and paint, your water source, and your use of imported cosmetics, ceramics, or remedies. The exposure source is the real diagnosis. At Regenerve, once exposure is removed and any confirmed toxicity is addressed under appropriate medical supervision, our focus is rebuilding the poison terrain. Because metals devastate glutathione, we use intravenous glutathione infusion therapy to restore your primary antioxidant defense. and support your body's natural detoxification capacity. We use infrared light therapy to drive mitochondrial recovery in energy-starved nerves, and PEA and C15 lipid supplementation to calm inflammation and protect nerve membranes. Our nutritional counseling restores the sulfur-bearing nutrients and minerals these metals displaced, and remote patient monitoring tracks your recovery over time. The goal is simple: stop the exposure, restore the defenses, and give the nerve room to heal. Sometimes the cause of unexplained neuropathy isn't unexplained at all. It has simply never been looked for because it was hiding in your environment. Investigate the terrain, remove the poison, and rebuild. If this gave you a new lead to follow, share it with someone stuck at Idiopathic. Visit regenerve.com or text 314-8865902. I am Dr. Padda, and I will see you in our next deep dive.